If you're in a situation where you feel like no matter what you do, nothing works, like life is just breaking you down over and over and over again, I just want to say I've been there, and I know how it feels to feel like you're constantly taking 10 steps back despite how much effort you're putting into your life. If everything feels like it's falling apart, you might be going through the dark night of the soul, and although it's probably feeling really crappy right now, I promise you there's gonna be a reward on the other side of it. Hi, my loves. Welcome to the Affirmation podcast. In today's episode, we're talking about what the dark night of the soul is and how to survive it. So the dark night of the soul is when you're experiencing all these hardships for a period of time. It's not like it's just like a one-day thing where you had a bad day. The dark night of the soul, this might be 6 months. This might be 1 year. It could be 2 years. It's just an extended period of time where it just feels like nothing is changing, where you feel like you're completely losing yourself and you're losing your identity because it's just so many things hitting you left and right. It truly is your rock bottom. It's emotionally overwhelming and you likely feel helplessness in this place. But the thing that I find fascinating about the dark night of the soul is that it's also a spiritual transformation when you allow it to be. Because the dark night of the soul, in a nutshell, forces you to confront what's not serving you. And honestly, this might be a hard pill to swallow because no one wants to sit there and say, what am I supposed to learn from this? When you're going through the hardest things in life, it's hard to be like, oh, what's the lesson in this? But I find that it really helps to understand why the dark night of the soul happens in the first place. Sometimes life breaks us down simply to just rebuild us stronger. For some of you, you might be experiencing the dark night of the soul because there's something you have not faced or addressed in your life yet. I'm going to share more about this in a little bit, but my dark night of the soul happened for the longest time because I avoided getting sober. I did not want to stop drinking alcohol. I made all the excuses you could think of to still be able to be a drinker. And it wasn't until I faced it that my life completely shifted. So the very thing that you're avoiding might be the very thing you need to do to get out of rock bottom. And the thing that I find so interesting about the dark night of the soul is that the more we resist the things we need to address in our life, the longer we are in it. But surrendering is what gives us liberation and what leads to transformation. So I have a quick story time for you guys on my dark night of the soul. Y'all, this was the worst period of my life. The worst things that I have gone through in the span of like a year and a half. Between the beginning of 2023 to like mid 2024, oh my God, I was struggling financially so bad. This was a period in my life where I was spending my money recklessly. I was spending it on alcohol, going out, partying, taking trips that I couldn't afford. And on top of that, I was struggling to get sober. There had been so many times within that year that I would get sober for a month and then I would break it. I just had a hard time making it stick. On top of that, my weight was at an all-time high. I was so uncomfortable in my body. I felt like I just didn't look good in anything that I wore, despite being in the gym, despite eating healthy and cooking healthy. At the time, it just felt like nothing I did was working. I had convinced myself that if I stopped drinking alcohol, maybe the weight would fall off. Maybe that was the problem. So eventually I did get sober. And there was a period during that timeline where I didn't drink for like 3 months. My weight went up, y'all. And I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean? Like, how am I not drinking alcohol and I'm gaining weight? How am I not drinking alcohol and I somehow have more debt? Like, I thought that getting sober would improve my life in every aspect. And when I did, everything literally got worse. It felt like getting sober would have been the leap forward, but it was like 5 leaps back because of all the shit that was coming up that I had to deal with. I felt so stuck. I felt so resistant to change. And I just was lost. Like, I was like, what am I supposed to do? And the thing that came up for me was my ego. As crazy as that sounds, it was my ego. I had such a big ego. Why is my money here? Why is my money not like this? Why am I not losing weight? Like, I just had the biggest ego. And for a while, I thought about moving back home, but I was like, no, I don't want to live with anybody. Like, I have this appearance that I'm independent. I've been living by myself for 3 years. So I had to swallow my ego and move back home. And what that meant for me was that I was relying on others. It meant accepting the help that was offered to me. And I didn't want to do that for the longest time. My ego didn't want to have to admit that I needed help, but I needed help. I hated the idea of surrendering. I hated the idea of moving back home, but I did it anyway. And as soon as I did, that's when everything changed. Everything shifted in the most positive, beautiful ways because I faced my resistance and I faced several of my biggest fears, getting sober and sticking to it, moving back and asking for help. So I want to share with you guys how you can create that kind of turning point for yourself and how you can surrender. So I have two really important questions you can ask yourself. These questions really helped me go deep within myself to identify those fears I had and why I was experiencing the blocks that I had. So one question you can ask yourself is, what is life trying to teach me right now? That is such a powerful question. Whatever's going on, why is that happening? Why has that manifested into your life? And then the second powerful thing to ask yourself is, what do I need to change to step into the life I want to have? I love that. Those are the two biggest things that helped me. When I asked myself, what is life trying to teach me? Y'all, number one, I don't need alcohol. Alcohol was not serving me and that I needed to remove it out of my life entirely. The second thing, I don't need all the things that I have. It showed me that I chose to be in an apartment in downtown Denver, paying $2,000 a month, but I didn't need that. I could easily have sized down into a studio. I could have moved back home. Those were the things that came up for me, just that I was spending money on things that did not serve me. And then when I asked myself what I needed to change to have the life that I wanted, the main thing was my environment. I knew that I was not going to thrive downtown. That was not the space for me to be. I needed to move back home so that I could pay off my debt, so that I could just remove the stress of owing money, so that I could then just focus on the gym, focus on eating healthy, focus on taking care of myself. And as soon as I moved home, I just felt the biggest weight off of my shoulders. I mean, in the last year of being at my parents' house, I've paid off $13,000 worth of credit card debt. I've been sober as of today for 9 months, and I actually just signed a contract on my first house. So excited. So I'll be moving in August. It has just literally been a complete 180. I mean, this is the transformation I saw in my mind that I wanted for myself, but I would not have been able to do that if I stayed in my apartment in downtown. So whatever you're going through, whatever your dark night of the soul looks like, the biggest thing that I want to say is you are going to have an ego death when you come to that point. That ego death is necessary. Part of you in this process is going to have to die for you to have your rebirth, for you to really transform into the version of you that you are supposed to be. So some advice that I have for you guys on how to survive the dark night of the soul is just to remember that it's not a punishment. What you're going through isn't because you're a horrible person. It's not because you deserve all the crappy things that are happening. It's a rebirth. And when you look at it that way, it's so much more empowering. It just feels so much better when you tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to be an even stronger version of me on the other side of it, because you are. Anything in life that we go through that's challenging, that's difficult, always molds us into an even stronger, better person. So just hold on to that. My next tip is to not resist the process. The more you resist the process, the longer you're going to be stuck in that period of time and the longer your dark night of the soul lasts. So something that helped me with this was just to ask myself, what am I resisting? You can journal about it, write it in your phone, just put down anything that comes up for you. But when it comes to change in your life, what things do you know would help you out, but you don't choose to either utilize them? Maybe it's a person that you don't ask for help that you know is there for you. Another journaling prompt that I have for you, or you can just reflect on it, is, what is life trying to teach me? I know I mentioned this a little bit ago, but if you haven't answered that question for yourself yet, make sure you sit with that one and catch yourself anytime you say, why is this happening to me? Reframe your thinking to, what am I supposed to get from this? Or there's a lesson in this. What is it? But it just helps from having a negative mindset into a more empowering one. My other piece of advice is to lean on your support. The dark night of the soul is different, y'all. It's not just like having a bad day. It's a period of time where you're going through so much. And so at the very least, you just got to have someone that you trust, someone that you can lean on, that you know is going to be there for you. Because at the end of the day, It's a lot easier when we have other people to go through things in life. It's so much harder when you're going through things alone. And I know I could speak to that because when I was going through my dark night of the soul, it literally took me like a year before I told my family what I was going through, before I asked to move back home. And I'm telling y'all, as soon as I leaned on my support, it was almost an instant 180. My last piece of advice is just to remind yourself daily that you're going to get through it. It's so powerful what a simple mantra or affirmation can do for us. Just telling yourself and looking in the mirror too, because that just makes it so much more personal that I'm strong and I'm going to get through my dark night of the soul. I'm going to come out an even better, stronger, happier version of myself. I'm going to figure out what the lesson is in all of this. I'm going to face my fears. I'm going to push through my resistance and I'm going to come out on top. And if y'all don't know who to lean on, I am here for you, okay? That is what my channel is all about. That is what my podcast is all about. It is community. And before we wrap up today's episode, I have some affirmations for us. If you're going through the dark night of the soul, I recommend to save these affirmations onto your phone. You can screenshot them. I always post them into my Patreon account. You can sign up for the free membership and get access like that. So you can place your hand over your heart and we're going to take a deep breath in for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Hold for 4. Okay, you can breathe normally. These affirmations are all going to be about letting go, trusting the process, rebirth, and inviting new beginnings into our life. You can repeat these affirmations out loud or you can say them internally in your head. Let's begin. I surrender to the journey, knowing everything is unfolding before me for the highest good. Even when I don't understand, I trust that life is guiding me towards something greater. Everything I'm going through is shaping me into the person I'm meant to be. I allow myself to embrace change without fear. I am stronger than my struggles and I will rise from this. My darkness is temporary. On the other side, there's light. My challenges do not define me, they refine me. I am stepping into a new chapter aligned with my highest self. I trust that what's leaving my life is making space for something better. Every setback is preparing me for my greatest comeback. I am ready to receive all of the blessings that are meant for me. Alrighty, you guys, we are done with our affirmations for today. I hope those feel really good. I hope those make you feel a little bit better about going through the dark night of the soul. And just remember, you can say these as often as you need to. And I really recommend that because your self-talk and your mindset is going to be one of the main things that get you out of the dark night of the soul. And please remember, you're not alone. I'm here for you. I know anyone part of this community is also here for you, so lean on your support. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know down in the comments, I surrender. If you're ready to let go of whatever has not been serving you, and if you're listening to the podcasting platforms, then you can shoot us a text message. You can reach out to me on the Be Affirmation Instagram page. I always love to hear from you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day. Be strong. You got this. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.